Sure. Yes, I caught myself this time because I was muted on Zoom. And the last time I did that, people were like, we can't hear you. I'm steady, like turning up the volume on my laptop. And it wasn't that, it was the fact that I was muted on Zoom. But this time I caught it in advance. So welcome, Dr. S here. Welcome to Dr. Sessions. Again, I don't know why I feel like these past couple of weeks I've just been out of rhythm and out of sync with talking to you guys. Last Tuesday I was out of town, so I wasn't able to do the Teaching Tuesday like I normally do, although I did post a little something about resting in God. But I don't know, like I just feel like it's been this long time since I've been with you all on a Tuesday night. So I missed y'all. Miss you so much. So I am back tonight, hopefully kind of back on schedule with my Tuesday night chit chats. So the first Tuesday is usually, hey Jasmine, the first Tuesday of the month is church culture. The second Tuesday is Teaching Tuesday. The third Tuesday are Dr. Sessions, and the fourth Tuesdays are virtual prayer. So be sure to mark your calendar for those if you are interested. So tonight we are doing Dr. Sessions, and welcome to everybody on Facebook and Instagram. As always, on Facebook, be sure to say something in the comments so I'll know who's on, so I can speak to you as we're waiting for maybe a few more people to pop on. Tag a friend, share this video. I want to make mention of, I want to make mention of the Roar Like a Lioness conference that is steadily coming. Oh my gosh, when I originally did started thinking about the idea, it seemed so far off. October seemed so far away. And it is literally like next week, I think. It's next week, October. So the conference is less than 4 weeks away. Ladies, there are still space. So if you're interested in coming, click on the link in any of my posts or click on the link in my bio. If you don't think you'll be able to make it, but you want to be a blessing to someone else, sponsor someone. Just hit me up and let me know, like, hey, I can't come, but here's $35 towards another lady coming to this like life-altering event. It's going to be phenomenal. If you haven't heard me talk about it, if you haven't seen a post, please know that it is a half-day women's conference inspired by the Lord. It's going to be general sessions and breakout sessions. All of the speakers are women of God who I know personally, who I trust, have a personal relationship with the Lord, and who are coming with a word. So I want to go ahead and get into tonight. As always, this is interactive, so feel free to comment, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you all. So tonight's Dr. Session is called Read the Fine Print. They must have been living under a rock. But you know, social media is kind of weird with their algorithm. Like I feel like sometimes things aren't like showing up in people's news feeds. And so I feel like I'm always talking about it, but I feel like we kind of have to. Hey guys, I feel like I have to like constantly get the word out. But if you haven't seen it, go to my page, check out all the flyers. It's going to be a great time. So again, I'm personally inviting you out, ladies. Please share with a friend about Roar Like a Lioness Women's Conference. If you are not able to come, you live in another city or a state, but you want to be a blessing to some other woman, then you could definitely sponsor someone. That just warms my heart. That could potentially happen. So hit me up, let me know if you have any questions about that. So tonight, Dr. Sessions, read the fine print. It is always so funny to me how God like lays things on my heart, and I can't even remember. I try to remember, something happened. Oh, I know what it was. Yes, Jasmine on IG says, come to the conference. She'll be there. She's like, come so she can meet you all. And I believe strongly in divine connections. So I watched this show called The Good Fight. I don't know if any of you watched that. It's a spinoff from the show The Good Wife, which I watched all of those episodes on Hulu, and then couldn't watch The Good Fight because it was on a platform that I did not have access to. But I recently got access to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to watch this for a couple of years now. So there was this episode about, so it's a lawyer show. So I like, if I had to choose between, like when I got my PhD, it was like law degree or PhD, and a law degree to me is stressful. So I got a PhD. But anyway, so I like lawyer shows. So anyway, on this particular episode, the company, the law firm had been bought out by a larger law firm, and they didn't like how they were running the law firm, the larger company. So they wanted to buy themselves back or buy themselves out of the contract. And so they had gotten the money lined up, and, were very confident when they went to the CEO of this corporation and was like, we're ready with our 20 million to buy ourselves back. And the CEO was like, oh no, it's 80 million. And they were like, no, the contract said 20 million. And he was like, no, clause B, section 25 or whatever said, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, how we attorneys and we missed that? But it made me think about the fine print. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Read the fine print. So when you hear that phrase, when you hear the phrase, read the fine print, what comes to mind? Feel free to chat it, type it in the comments. When you hear read the fine print, what do you think about? As you guys are typing it in, I think about all the little like super duper uber tiny, you got to pull out your magnifying glass to read it, or you have to click on something else to go to something else to get to it, to read it. Like it's so cumbersome to get to the fine print. But the fine print is where like all of the important information is. That's where all the heretofore and blah 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 blah. Yes, the things that matter. So the important stipulations, the important information, the like how-tos, or what happens if you do have a complaint. Who does? Is it arbitration? And like down the fine print, you can't take them to court. You can't sue them. All of that stuff is in the fine print. All of that stuff is when they say you have to click the box that says, I have read and agreed to the terms and agreement. Most of us don't even click on that. If you like me, you just be like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I agree. And we can sign our life away and not know because we didn't read the fine print. So it's like this little tiny writing, right? Or this separate page that you have to go to. Or it might be like if you're at a store, a clothing store, a grocery store, or something like that. And it's like the little asterisk, like the sale sign is in like 200 font, but the asterisk is like in this little tiny 0.6. That used to happen to me at the store all the time. I would like see something I wanted to buy and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this on sale for $5, and get to the register and they'd be like, oh no, that's $15.99. I'm like, the sign said $5. And they're like, oh no. So if you see the asterisk and then it says starting at $5. But I was so excited about the sale, or what I thought was a sale, I missed the fine print. I missed the asterisk. What about cell phones, like cell phone deals? I'm loving Smoothie King right now. Like all of these restaurants, all these different things. It's like everything has this like fine print, this terms and agreement that you have to, hey Danielle, give me a second. I'll be happy to have you in. The fine print, right? The other place where this really happens is at the grocery store. Oh my gosh, I have gotten burned so many times, and I'm going somewhere with this. Work with me. I go to the grocery store and I'm gonna pick something up, something that I want. It's the sign says, well, sign in front of it says, oh, it's $2. It's $1.99. Because I don't know why they feel like that 1 cent makes a difference to us. But anyway, it says that, $1.99, $2. You're super excited. You beep up your little way up to the self-checkout, scan the stuff yourself, and it rings up like $3.50. And you're like, the sign said $2. So you call the clerk over and you're like, hey, you're explaining to them the situation. And they're like, oh, well, do you have your Schnucks card or your CVS Walgreens? And you're like, oh, no. And you're like, oh, yeah. That's why. It's $2 if you have the card. It's $2 if you buy 2 or more. But that's the fine print. That's the asterisk beside the thing. And you kind of got your feelings hurt a little bit because you didn't take the time. We didn't take the time to look at the fine print. Either it was too small for you to see, because like I said, the sale sign, the sign of the price of the thing is huge, but the asterisk is super tiny. Or maybe you were just in a rush and you're like, oh my gosh, I just needed to run in here real quick and pick this up and grab it. And you're not paying attention. It's not that big a deal to you. Or maybe it's something you really wanted. Like, oh my gosh, this is the candy I have been looking for, or the shirt I have been looking for. And so you just take for granted that the sign that you see is what it is without all the extra nonsense. Like, you just take for granted it is what it is. So I'm going to pause right here because Danielle, I want to see what you would like to share before I go forward. And hopefully it'll work. Jasmine says, I think I know where this is going. So while we wait to see if Danielle wants to pop on IG with us, for me, I say things like, why it just can't be what it is, why it just can't be plain. If you ask my son, one of my favorite, hey sis, one of my favorite sayings is, say what you mean and mean what you say. Like, I feel like stores should do that. I feel like cell phone companies should do that. I feel like, anything we deal with, it should just be plain, right? Instead of dealing with fine print, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be so much better if it was large print? Like, just, again, super obvious, super plain. But unfortunately, it's not like that sometimes. We have to deal with the fine print. So instead of it being plain and simple, instead of there being like no guesswork, instead of you having this very clear understanding of what you can and can't do, what is or isn't going to happen, what a person is saying or not saying, like, instead of it just being black and white, we have to look for the asterisk. We have to look for the catch. We have to look for the fine print or whatever it is that is the additional information that has bearing on the thing we're doing, that has bearing on the thing that we're moving forward with. So is this, as I go through this, setting the stage, is this resonating with anybody? Or is anybody like, I feel you, I'm the same way. Oh my gosh, I hate it when that happens. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't read the fine print one time and then I got stuck in a contract, or I got stuck with a bill, or some such thing happened because I did not read the fine print. I have another example for you as I continue to set the stage, because this is the one that gets me as you're thinking about, like, yeah, what about social media? Because again, this is another one where I go to do something, I'm not even paying attention. I don't have to create a new account, because I could just log in through my Google account or my Facebook account And who knows like what I have signed up with. Danielle, let me know if you still want to be in. And I'll be like, all of a sudden on my Google account, I'm getting like the most random spam emails. I'm like, what? I don't need insurance, or like it's like random stuff, like really, really random stuff. And I'll be like, I didn't sign up for this. Why am I getting this? And then I remember, like, you know what? I did click the accept with this other account or this other website. And so now they've sold my little information or said somewhere in the fine print, like, oh, you'll get emails from our other affiliates or contributors or whatever. No, you're not. You had, you requested in and then I tried to invite you and it didn't. I don't know how that works. You know me, IG, we be fighting. I just sent you another invite. So they messed around and signed you up for stuff which you could say I didn't sign up for, but you really did because you didn't read the fine print. The other example I want to give before I get into the nitty-gritty of it is, what about jobs? When you are considering a new job, when you are considering employment, and I know I've seen this, and y'all let me know if you've seen this. You're reading the job description and it's like, oh, has to be available Monday through Friday, has to be able to lift 25 pounds, needs this type of a degree or whatever. And there is almost always at the end of the description a bullet point that says, and any other duties as needed, or any other duties as requested, or any other duties as determined, or some really vague, obscure phrase that you don't quite know what that means, but it's on there all the same. This is another example of the fine print, because what happens sometimes is when you get this job, suddenly your boss is right. Any other duties as assigned. When you get the job and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we need you to work Monday night. Oh, by the way, can you show up on Saturday to do blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, can you train? And you're like, no, that ain't, that's not in my job description. And they're like, whoop, 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 whoop. Actually, it is, because of the fine print, because of the asterisk, because of that little bullet point at the end of the job description. So I've like set this stage. I've built up this momentum, right? So how does this concept of fine print relate to tonight's doctor sessions? Like, how does it relate to this conversation that we're having tonight about something that I feel like happens often in our lives, and maybe, we need to think about? So if you've never watched a doctor sessions, this is kind of a play on kind of therapy. I am a licensed clinical social worker, but this is not a therapy session, but it is just talking about things that might come up in a therapy session, or at least if I was doing therapy with myself in the mirror, these are the things I would be talking about to myself. So this conversation, this doctor sessions, is about making smart choices based on having all the information. So a discussion about making smart choices and having all the information, including this fine print, including the asterisk, including this information we might not otherwise make ourselves pay attention to. It's about making informed decisions in various aspects of our life. So think about it. If you knew you were going to be locked into a 12 or 24-month contract with your cell phone company, would you do it? Maybe, if you read the fine print. Cable, would you sign up for the special that they have that generally only lasts 12 months? Would you sign up for that, knowing that more than likely the rate is going to go way up after 12 months? Maybe, if you read the fine print. If you read the fine print, if you know what you're getting into, then you might move forward with it, even if it seems kind of rocky, shaky, unsure, because you read the fine print. Yes, you always have to read the fine print. It can be very tricky. Yes, ma'am. Yes, exactly. Because that's how you get caught up, because it's tricky. You get caught up because you did not read the fine print. What about y'all who have ever bought a house? That's a major decision. So it's a quality decision. It's an important decision. You feel like if you've ever purchased a house and you are signing and signing and signing and signing, you by like page 50, like, but you got to read the fine print, because what if you're interested in renting out your property? What if you want to be a landlord and you didn't read the fine print to see, oh, the homeowners association doesn't allow for renters, or, oh, wait, I have to live in this house for 5 years before I could rent it out. If you don't read the fine print, you're going to set yourself up for possibly a situation that you're not going to work. You're not going to be able to work it out in the time frame or in the way that you want it, because you missed out on the fine print. You have to watch the fine print. Don't just rush into something, right? Or if you want to pay it off early, yes, some places like credit cards or different things, like they have a penalty for paying it off early because they want all your money and interest. So don't just rush into something without being fully knowledgeable. So I've given examples of things that are very tangible, very concrete. Go to the store, cell phone bill, cable bill, buying a house. Those are very concrete examples that you're like, okay, I could do that. I'll read the fine print for that. I'll read the fine print, because now you're playing with my money. I'll read the fine print for that. But what about, and this is what I really want to get to, what about those situations that are less tangible and more emotional? What about them? How do we handle the fine print? And Jasmine, is this where you thought I was going? How is this relatable to relationships, to friendships, to marriage, to business partnerships? How do we associate this same concept and the importance of paying attention to and reading the fine print when it comes to those types of situations? So I have a few examples. Welcome IG and Facebook. Thank you for joining and hanging out. Feel free to tag, share, comment. I would love this to continue to be interactive. So how are we made aware of the fine print in these relationships, in these more emotional situations, things that sometimes aren't as concrete or cut and dry? So I have a couple that I thought of. So what about if you are trying to decide to date someone or be friends with someone? Because I try not to limit relationship conversations just to boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, because anytime you're interacting with somebody else, that's a relationship. Your coworkers, if you do run a business and you have a business partner, your friendships, those are all relationships, and all of these things that, we talk about apply because you're dealing with another person. So how does this person handle their emotions? What happens when they get angry? What happens when they get upset? How do they handle that emotion? Are they the type of people who yell and scream and slam doors? Are they the type of people who, totally shut down and isolate and like block you out? How do they handle those emotions? How they handle those emotions? That's fine print. That's fine print. Those are examples of fine print. Those are examples of an asterisk. When they get upset and they're yelling, they are showing you something that you need to read. You need to be aware of. You need to be mindful of. Is this something I can handle? Is this the type of contract I want to get into? Do I want to sign up for this? Is this relevant to me? Or like, no, this is a stipulation that I'm not willing to deal with. The cost is too high. I'm not willing to deal with this. Here's another example. How do they handle conflict? Are they the type of people who blame you? Are they, it's your fault and you should have done it? I don't know why you treat me like this. Are they that? Are they the type of person when you assert yourself with them and you set a boundary with them, then all of a sudden you don't hear from them anymore? They ghost you and you're texting and calling and searching for them on social media, doing drive-bys. I used to be crazy like that. I've been delivered though. You know, how do they handle conflict? If they are the type of people or a type of person who would ghost you and just drop you at the drop of a dime, that's fine print. That's a stipulation. That's an asterisk that we need to be mindful of, that we need to pay attention to, because they are telling you something. The big print is, I'm a great mate. The big print is, I would be a wonderful business partner. The big print is, you know, connect with me. I'm going somewhere. But the fine print is, whenever y'all have conflict, y'all can't talk about it. Whenever y'all have conflict, they all of a sudden they cussing you out. You know, whenever y'all have conflict, now you don't hear from them for 2 weeks. That's the fine print that we need to be mindful of in these more, like I said, emotional. Yes, Danielle, the hashtag fine print, note to self. Telling you, it when I watched the show that day and it just kind of dropped in me like that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so relevant. People, the things that we associate with these, again, tangible black and white concrete things are also relevant to these less tangible things, these less concrete things, these things that we don't necessarily associate with the fine print, the things we kind of miss and we gaze over because we're so interested, we're rushed, we're lonely, we're sad, we're just trying to move out, start this business, do that. We're not looking at the person's fine print. We see the big lights and the billboard and all of that, but the asterisk we are not paying attention to. What is their communication style? Yeah, Amelia said on Facebook, this is good, and I'm definitely listening. Amen. We been there, done. I'm speaking from experience. In ways I do too. There's probably some asterisks beside my name too. So what's their communication style? Again, if you're just popping on, we're talking about read the fine print, and how in the same way that we have to read the fine print when we go to a store or looking, to buy a car or anything, we have to read the fine print, and you have to do this. It is helpful for us. I ain't gonna say you have to do, because y'all going to do what you want to do. It is helpful to us if we read the fine print when we're dealing with people. So what's their communication style? Are they argumentative? Do they always want to fight? Are they always looking for a fight? Like things can be going along well, and then out the blue is, why you got cuffs in your pants? Like, what? Why are we talking about that? Do they have some unhealed trauma and they're responding from that? Not saying that you can't be in a relationship with a person like that or be in a business partner with somebody like that, but you have to read the fine print and know whether or not that's something you can legitimately deal with. Do they gaslight you? Do they make you feel some kind of way about something that's not really your fault or not really your responsibility? And this ties into with, how they deal with conflict, how they deal with anger. Are they takers? Are they the people who you're always the person initiating? You're always the person calling. You're always the person, coming over. You're always the person like, hey, can we do this? Again, relationships as far as boy, girl, husband, wife, well, hopefully you would acknowledge this fine print before it gets to husband, wife. But even in a business contract, if we're supposed to be business partners, if we're supposed to be working together, it should be some reciprocity. It should be some give and take. But if I'm the person who's always giving, I'm the person who's always initiating, is that something I want to deal with? Is that something that I want to be mindful of? And if it is, cool. Well, before I say that, are there other examples that you all can think of fine print where you've, made a decision or about to make a decision about a friendship or a relationship or, working together with someone in business, and you're like, I thought it was a good idea, but then they said this or then they did that, and it gave me pause. It made me take a step back and look at the fine print. It made me look at this little asterisk where, they said, for example, you're thinking about going into business with someone and they are, I got this business plan and I'm business savvy and, I've done this, that, and the third, and it sounds good. Billboard, big print. But then every time you talk to them, they're mentioning they're late on their bills. They're mentioning, I don't get paid till, again, and living paycheck, been there, done that. And I'm not saying it's bad. What I am saying is that's fine print. That is something to look at. Do I want to lock in financially in business with this person? And maybe they're not the money manager that they say that they are. Maybe they're not as savvy or as connected in the business world that I'm trying to get to, as they say. Like, so you guys can let me know if any of this is something that you have experienced and you caught yourself being like, oh my gosh, that's the asterisk. Oh my gosh, I need to think about that a little bit more. So as you guys are thinking about that, remember when I mentioned the grocery store earlier. So again, if you're just popping on, I use the example where you're about to get something and you think it's $2 and you get to ring it up and it's really $3.50 because you don't have the store card or you didn't buy, multiple items. You didn't see the fine print, or I didn't see the fine print. You get up to the register and the item is more than you thought it would be. At that point, at the point that we're at the register, we can make a decision. Do we want to buy this orange juice or not? Do we want to get this shirt, this outfit? I think I'll pass. There comes a time in these situations, both in the tangible ones and the more emotional ones, where you have an option to go left or right. It's like you're at like a fork in the road. I use a cell phone example. Do I want to sign up for this 24-month lease with the understanding that if a better phone comes out and I want it before 18 months is up and I'm gonna have to pay a $799 cancellation fee? At that moment where I'm reading the fine print, where I'm getting more information, I have a choice to make. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to me to get this phone at this moment, or wait 6 months and see what the next thing is that's coming out? Is it worth it to, what is the offset? If I do get it now and I change my mind, what's the cost? So we have these opportunities when we start to read the fine print, when we start to pay attention to the asterisk, when we start to really acknowledge the behaviors that we're seeing, to make a decision. It would behoove us, I like that word, it would behoove us to think as critically about these people that we're connecting ourselves with as we would these other things. These partnerships, these relationships, these, connections and hookups and all of that, it is as important to think about those things in the same way you would signing your name on the dotted line for a 30-year mortgage. In the same way, signing your name on the dotted line for a 5 or 6 year, car payment. In the same way, You about to spend $1,200 on an iPhone. In the same way that you would read and think about those decisions that are going to affect you, we have got to think about that when we're dealing with people. We have got to see and read and pay attention to the fine print. If they are, talking in a particular way, if they are acting in a particular way, like like a cartoon, see the asterisk beside it and be like, what does this really mean? What are they really saying? What is this behavior really denoting about this person? And if you see it, and if you read it, and if you then still decide to follow through, then okay. Because you had the relevant information. You had the information that you need. As I said before, if they don't call, or they say something out of the way, or they mismanage their money, that's fine print. Do not ignore it. Don't do like we do when we get on social media and just click, yes, I've read it, and you haven't read it. Don't ignore these things. Read all of the terms and conditions before you go to the right or to the left, depending on what you're thinking about. When you see this fine print, take it seriously. Like I said, don't be in a rush. Don't willingly ignore it. Don't try to rationalize it away. Sometimes we sign up for things and we're like, oh, well, that won't happen to us. Oh, it'll be different with us. Oh, well, like the lawyers I mentioned, we're attorneys. We know how to deal with that. No. They got caught up too. We can't pretend like we are better than the people who have gone before us and potentially got tripped up. If a person, again, that you're thinking about being in a relationship with, connected with in some way, in partnership, if they don't respect your opinions, they don't respect your beliefs, if they are dishonest in some way and just want you to ignore it or, act like it's okay, all of these things are examples of fine print. And I can tell you from experience, I have seen fine print and have ignored it and come to regret it. So I encourage all of us to look closely at what a person is showing us and make an informed the decisions about the next step. Don't make a move out of anxiousness. Don't make a move out of fear. Don't make a move out of you're trying to compare yourselves to some other person or some of, comparison kills for sure. So you see them doing something, so let me go. No, read the fine print. So as I close up, thank y'all for hanging out and sticking with me. In the same way that we can't blame anyone else. I can't blame social media when I start getting those spam emails because I just clicked on the thing. Or I can't blame a company if they say, oh, you have this 7-day trial or 30-day trial. And if you don't cancel by day 6, or if you don't cancel by day 29, then we're going to charge you $95.99 every week. They did their part. They showed me the fine print. It's up to me to read the fine print and make a decision and act accordingly. So in the same way that I can't blame the company for doing what they said they was going to do in the fine print that I didn't read, we can't be mad at people for being who they showed us they were. We can't be mad at them for being who they are. We can't be mad at them so that now they're in a position where the fine print has shifted and now it's not fine anymore. Now it's loud, clear, bold, because somewhere in that fine print, it was like, oh, if you're willing to deal with me like this for 2 weeks, then what you're saying is you cool with me. You cool with me behaving like this. We can't get mad at them. We saw the fine print. Or the red flags, if you want to call it that. I like the fine print when I was thinking about the example. But we saw the red flags. We saw the fine print. We chose to ignore them or to think we could deal with them or not read them, give them the weight that we needed. So we can't be mad at them. So if you're in a situation, here are some things that you can consider. So I'm gonna kind of continue with my store-like analogy with these suggestions. So if you're in a situation like this and you're making some decisions right now on a partnership, on a relationship, on a friendship, take this in mind. And you probably already gleaned this from what I've said thus far. Number one, pay attention to the fine print. Don't ignore it. Don't justify it. Don't think it's going to go away. In the same way you can't alter some, cell phone company or social media, you can't alter their fine print. It is what it is. They had lawyers write that up and take time to do that. They paid money to make sure they covered all of their bases. In the same way, you can't alter that fine print. You can't alter a person's fine print. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Good night, Nova. In the same way you can't alter a business's fine print, you can't alter a person's fine print. It is what it is. It is what it is until they so choose. So that's the other thing, when you'll get these emails. It'd be like, hey, just FYI, we're changing some stuff. FYI, we're doing some things different. They made the decision. The company made the decision to change their fine print. Not us, they did. So in the same way with a person, we can't change their fine print. They have to make the decision if they so choose to change their fine print. So until that point, it is what it is. So pay attention to the fine print. And because of that, here's number two. Because you can't necessarily change the person's fine print, make a wise decision based on the fine print you see. Not your feelings, not your emotions, not what you want it to be, not what you want the fine print to say, not what you hope or wish. Make a wise decision based on the fine print that is. How many times have you guys been to the store? I'm also the queen of this. Been to the store, was feeling some kind of way in your emotions, and we do retail therapy. And we go and we spend all this money and we get it home and then we have buyer's remorse. Because we didn't make that decision out of a logical, rational mind. We made it out of emotionalism. We made it because we was feeling some kind of way. We made it because, and it's the same thing with these relationships. And I maybe could take the shoes back. I maybe could take the outfit back. But depending on the decision I make with this person, I can't return that. I might be stuck with that. So make a wise decision based on the fine print to decide, is this for me or not? Is this something I should be connected to or not? Don't let your feelings get you caught up. What's the saying? Don't write a check that you behind can't cash from old school folks. Pay attention to the fine print and then make a wise decision based on the fine print you see, period. Not your feelings, not your emotions. And then lastly, if you have moved forward, despite the fine print that you saw, know this, depending on the situation, you can get out the contract. It might cost you a little something, but you can get out of the contract. Whether this is a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business deal. Now I understand, for those who are watching now, those who may watch the replay, y'all be like, Dr. S said, I could just leave my spouse. That's not what I'm saying. It is a little different if you're married. It is a little different if you've actually, created a legal partnership with someone. Those are things that you have to, navigate some additional systems to get out of. But if it's a friendship, if it is boyfriend, girlfriend, even fiance, If it's something that's just in the talks as far as a business deal, you can get out of the contract. You are not bound. You are not bound. You can take this stuff back. You can get out of the contract. You can cancel your subscription. You can return the item. You can say, no, this is not working for me. I don't want to do it. You have the right to do that. You are not necessarily locked in to this thing. Even in some of these, tangible examples, sometimes if you read the fine print enough, you might find a loophole. You might find a way to get out of it. In these more emotional situations, these person-to-person situations, if you thought it was a good idea, you ignored some fine print, you ignored some red flags, and you thought you were really close to moving forward. If you are now listening to this and you're like, you know what, this is a sign, I'ma say no. It's a no for me, Alex, or whomever. You can get out. You can get out. And it might cost you something. There might be a penalty. It might be an early termination fee. But your peace, I promise you, is worth it. If the person is like, well, you said we was going to be business partners and I was gone and the money, you know what? You're right. Or we did have this conversation, but now that I've thought more on it and really paid attention to the fine print that I saw in my interactions with you, I don't think this is a good business deal for me. You move on. You dating somebody, y'all been dating for a minute and you was excited because you just knew that was your husband and blah, blah, blah. But then you take some time and you actually reflect and you're like, I've seen some asterisks, multiple ones that give me pause and concern. I mean, it might look some kind of way. Y'all might say something about me. You might be mad at me for a minute. I don't know if you can get the money back for your ring, whatever the case may be. But this, I really honestly looked at the fine print and this is not going to work for me. You can get out of it. I don't want anybody. That's right, Amelia. Yes. I don't want anybody to feel like you are stuck in something that you don't have to be stuck in. So if you are paying attention to the fine print, if you are making wise decisions and those decisions are telling you, hey, this is not a good idea, good for you. If you were well on your way to moving forward because you ignored some of the fine print and now you're like, I'm reevaluating, I want to do something different, good for you. People might not understand, but you have to do what you need to do. Your mental health is worth it. Your physical health is worth it. Your peace, your joy is worth it. Your finances are worth it. Don't worry what people are going to say. They're going to talk about you regardless anyway. Don't worry about people going to say. They're going to talk about you. Let it be because you're at peace. And because you read the fine print. And because you made a decision with and in wisdom. You make a decision to do what you need to do. And that's okay. And you're entitled to that. So I just wanted to be an encourager today to you, to us, to read the fine print. In the same way that we, would read it in a store or read it in a contract, let's do that when we're thinking about interacting with people, when we're thinking about connecting to them in some way. Don't ignore the fine print. Read it thoroughly. Welcome, read it thoroughly. And then make some decisions accordingly. If you have any questions about what I said, if you're watching now, you're just like, well, I have a question, but I don't want to put it in the comment section. DM me, hit me up, let me know. I am happy to talk to you about this. As I said a little while ago, while I am a licensed clinical social worker, these doctor sessions are not intended to be like a therapy session, per se. But I do hope it's a time for you to think about some very relevant topics that are happening in your life some decisions that you're making, some relationship choices that you're making, some people that you're interacting with that maybe you don't need to interact with anymore, when you take the time to honestly reflect on the fine print that they are showing you. Don't get distracted by the billboard. Don't get distracted by the bright lights. What does the asterisk say? What does the fine print say? If you are listening to this, you're watching this on a replay, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is something that I struggle with. This is a challenge for me. I don't know how to read the fine print, or I don't know, I've read the fine print, but I don't know how to step back from this kind of thing. And you feel like you need to seek some therapy, and you don't know how to find a therapist, let me know. I will help you find a resource. I will help you connect with someone in your area that will help you be able to make the wise choices with all of the information that you have. So I am a huge proponent of therapy and, getting the help that you need. So if you need help, let me know, and I'm definitely willing to help you. So I pray that this was insightful for you. I hope that it helped you in some way and gave you a nugget that you didn't know that you needed. And like I said, if you do have questions, hit me up and let me know. I'm happy to talk about that. I will see you guys next Tuesday, Lord willing, at 7 for virtual prayer. And as always, you can DM me with prayer requests. You don't have to wait till Tuesday. If you DM me right now, I will pray for you. But if you have prayer requests or want to stand in the gap for somebody, hit me up, let me know, and I will definitely pray whenever you send that. And then on Tuesday, and then also, ladies, just a reminder about the Roar Like a Lioness Women's Conference, which is coming up on Saturday, October 16th. It's a half day conference starting at 8 in the morning. It's going to run to about 1:30-ish. It's going to be a phenomenal time of just the word and fellowship and just some breakthrough and deliverance. It will be an example of this. Like, I've been in a situation where, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle this stuff that I'm hearing about or interacting with, and coming to this conference will give you some tools, some practical tools to deal with some particular issues in your life that maybe are keeping you bound. So it's only $35, and that $35 includes 3 breakout sessions, some general sessions, a swag bag, a lunch. Like, you guys are covered when you come to that. So I encourage you to click the link in my bio to register for that. And if you can't come, maybe you work that day, or maybe you don't live in the St. Louis area, but you want to be a blessing to someone, just DM me and let me know that you want to sponsor someone. I literally just yesterday had that situation happen. Somebody was like, I want to come, but the way my money's set up, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. And that same day, somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to sponsor somebody. And so bam, the woman who wanted to come was able to come because someone blessed her with a gift, not knowing each other, not knowing that was, a need in the house. So if you want to be a blessing, if you want to come and be a blessing, listen, I don't want to limit how you get your blessing. So yes, I'm super excited about that. So again, that's Saturday, October 16th here in the St. Louis area, half-day conference, $35, link in my bio. So I, again, hope that this was helpful to you in some way. If it was, then just say thank you, or this was for me in the comments, and be sure to share and tag somebody. I want to reach as many people as is allowed or needs to be reached. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I try to keep these under an hour. So I will talk to you soon. Next Tuesday probably will be on again, just a kind of random pop up, but definitely scheduled for next Tuesday for virtual prayer. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Be blessed, Dr. S.